Hey there guys, CrossFlux here, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team. In the last episode, we completed our very first mission as an official rescue team. Today's episode, we're going to continue our journey. So, was there anything inside the mailbox? Empty? I suppose so. We've only just started after all. Well, too bad. Want to go to the square? I think if we go to the post office, there'll be jobs there. Pokemon Square's this way. So Lizzie here is going to introduce us to the main hub of the game. The town square here is where we're going to be doing all of our shopping, inventory management, banking, all sorts of stuff like that. All of the preparations that we would normally do before taking out dungeons and stuff like that. So it's a pretty important place. You'll be coming here pretty much every single day. The storage, in my opinion, is probably the most important out of all of these because your toolbox can only hold 20 item spaces, so you're obviously going to run out of space very quickly. Alright, but before we head to the post office like Lizzie is suggesting, I say let's talk to the townsfolk, see what they have to say. Heading up north will take us to, quote-unquote, the elder of the village. I've heard fissures have opened up in the ground here and there. They're trouble for everyone. It worries me to no end, thinking that children will fall down into them. So, good old Elder Wishcash there. He's a pretty smart dude. Well, he sounds smart, but he's probably not really. I don't know why, but there have been many natural disasters lately. A lot of Pokemon have gone wild and violent because of them. It's a mean world out there. There was a forest fire not long ago, and it was terrible. Luckily, Blastoise and Feraligatr were able to douse it quickly, but it could have been much worse if they were slower getting there. Pardon? Oh, the Pelipper Post Office. The Pelipper Post Office would be straight down this path. It's out at the Cape. You can't miss it. And then heading down south there is a building under construction, so we can't really access that just yet. But let's go ahead and take Lizzie up on her offer of her tutorial of the bulletin board. So the bulletin board is where there's going to be a lot of different rescue missions that are just posted for any rescue team to do, not just for specific rescue teams like we've been getting our missions so far. And since we're any rescue team, that means we're able to take these missions as well. So there's a couple different types of missions, and I'll explain them as I kind of show them off. But it's important to note that you can take a look at the info for each mission to see what dungeon you need to go to, what floor, your reward for doing the dungeon, and how many rescue team points you get for doing it. So I think I'm going to take these Thunderwave Cave jobs so that we can do those missions when we enter the dungeon. If you don't hit take job on your job menu, then even if you go into the dungeon, it won't trigger the mission event. So it's really important to remember to hit take job first. Alright, so I'll go ahead and show off some of the facilities of town real quick. Alright, I tend to only take one apple and just one of each restorative item into a dungeon with me. That way I have as much room in my inventory as I can for picking up goodies. Alright, so that's that. The green Kecleon on the left here will sell restorative items, food items, held items, just in general goodies, stuff like that. Whereas the purple Kecleon on his right will sell you orbs, which are a new type of item that we haven't seen before, and TMs, which will teach your Pokemon new moves. So I'm not even going to bother looking his stock just yet, since I don't really have the money for any of it. But let's go ahead and tackle a few side rescue missions before we advance the story. What is important to note though is that in order to advance the story, we must take down at least 2 side rescue missions before we're allowed to advance. So, at first I was trying to record this episode while doing some of the side missions and then heading on to the story mission. But with that YouTube time limit of 15 minutes, I just don't think I was able to fit it all in one episode. So, I thought it would be best if I just kind of dedicated this one episode to showing what rescue missions are like, and then we'll advance the story in the next episode. So I apologize if this video is going to be a little bit more boring than some of the other parts, but I feel it's kind of important to show what it's like. So speaking of rescue missions, if we take a look at our main menu, we can see that there's an Others tab. Clicking that will allow us to take a look at mission objectives. So in case we've forgotten kind of what floors are important to us, we can take a look here. So as you can see, I have a wide variety of tasks to accomplish today. The most generic rescue missions that you'll do are literally just that, rescue missions, where you'll get to a specific floor in the dungeon, find a friendly Pokemon, the client, and talk to them in order to rescue them. Each time you rescue a Pokemon in this matter, you'll be given an option to just warp out of the dungeon right away. So you don't have to necessarily complete a dungeon every single time you go in. If you just have certain missions that you have to accomplish, you can finish up your exploration as soon as the mission is done. So that's a pretty nice touch. Obviously, since I have more than one mission, I won't be taking my clients up on their offer to warp me out until I'm done with all of them. Alright, so here's our first client, a Wormhole. So we put his badge on it, and it has teleport powers. So no, I will not leave. I'm still not done here yet. Alright. So I'm not really going to mention too much about Thunderwave Cave, since obviously I've already talked about that a lot already. So I'm going to be a little bit more quick in taking care of this dungeon. I probably won't explore the floors thoroughly, since I'm here on business. I mean, we were here on business before, but that was different. Let's see. So another rescue type job that you can do is a delivery mission, where the client will ask for a particular item. Sometimes they'll want you to deliver it to them in person on the floor in the dungeon, and sometimes they'll want you to just deliver it once you've completed the dungeon. Usually if they want you to complete the dungeon first, the item in question will be naturally found in that dungeon and pretty common. But if for whatever reason you didn't find one in the dungeon, as long as you have one in your toolbox, you'll still be able to complete the mission. So that's always important to look out for. And the third and the most annoying type of rescue missions that you can do are escort missions. As any video game player will tell you, escort missions are always the worst in video games. And it's no different here in Mystery Dungeon. In those types of missions, you'll be given a very low-level client who wants you to take them to another floor of the dungeon. Alright. But since we just completed our last mission here, I think we're gonna go ahead and call it early. Impressively completed a mission. I like it. Thank you for rescuing Wormhole. Here's your reward. So we got a Max Elixir. Those are really nice items. They will completely restore the power points of every single move that you have. So they're definitely a necessity in longer dungeons where you're going to have to be using moves a lot. Now gaining points, I'm sure you've seen in the text box, is a thing that happens when you complete missions. Basically, the more points you have, the higher rank your rescue team will become, which will give you access to more difficult missions, which give you better rewards, as well as unlocking certain things. Again? Am I dreaming again? It's that one Pokemon again. They're talking to me? I can't hear them clearly. What are they saying? It's shaking. An earthquake? Whoa, it's getting worse. For a dream, this feels strangely real. But hello? Hello? Yeah, hello? Hello, Skipper. You are Skipper, aren't you? Skipper? No, you can't see us. Duh, you can't see us. Show yourself. We're pleased to meet you. Last night during the earthquake. Last night during
Child
the
Diglett was attacked.
Child Diglett was
whisked
whisked away.
away.
Slow down. Got all mountain. Can't keep up. Couldn't possibly climb somewhere so high. That is why we call upon you. We need your help, Skipper. Diglett was abducted by Skarmory. I think
It's a wily, vicious ruffian.
He's a vicious ruffian. Please, we need your help. We need your help. Well, those duck trio are pretty strange. So sudden, there wasn't even time to say no. Well, we better go. Let's see what Lizzie has to say about this interesting phenomenon. Good morning, Skipper. Huh? You were just asked to go on a rescue mission?
Yes.
Oh, we're back. Our child Diglett was kidnapped. He was taken to Mount Steel Summit. Please, your help. Bye-bye. Yeah, help. Okay. Let's go, I guess. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and prepare in the shop real quick. For this next dungeon, I definitely recommend that you pull out any and all blast seeds that you're carrying. Eating blast seeds in a battle will allow you to breathe fire temporarily for like a quick burst of flame. So that'll be handy in this dungeon because some of the Pokemon are weak to fire. Another thing I recommend having is Oran Berries and any Reviver Seeds because this next dungeon is a pretty big difficulty spike in my opinion. So you definitely want to play it as safe as possible. Yes, actually I do want to take this bus. What else? I'll take the rest of my ammo. Yeah, I'll take all of it. Alright, so I'm just getting prepared for the dungeon here. But we won't actually tackle it until the next episode since we're running a little low on time. See what else there is for sale. A stun seed is actually a pretty interesting item. It'll paralyze Pokemon, so that could be useful in this dungeon as well. I think I'll take it along. And I have a decent amount of Poke. In case I actually die in this dungeon, it's important to make sure your Poke is safe in the bank. Because if you die, you lose all the Poke that you were carrying. But with that, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here. And we'll continue the story in the next episode. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you all have a blessed day. See you guys then.